just have this mindset that we're constantly having to prove ourselves. As a program, we're still having to prove ourselves. It doesn't matter that we won back-to-back 11-win seasons. We have to prove it again.
SMU head coach Rhett Lashlee, days away from week 1 of the 2025 college football season. You look thrilled to be here. Getting going year number 4 here on the Hilltop. Take me back to last season. Amazing year for you and the Mustangs. What is the core memory from that season that you'll take with you until you're in your 80s and 90s?
Oh boy, last season was great. To have a core memory, I mean, it was a fun team. It was a really fun group to coach. They were close. They were really tight. We had offense, defense, always supporting each other. Good leadership. A lot of guys played their best last year, when it was needed. We won a lot of big games, and just to take SMU back into a power conference, back on the national stage, to win the way we did in the first year, make the college football playoff, and was fun. But really, it's just the memories I'll keep is just what a fun group that was to coach. We miss a lot of those guys already.
What's different about this team?
Yeah, well, the obvious one is we have 42 new scholarship players over 85. So when about half your team, we lost a lot of good guys, over 20 guys left and either got drafted or got a chance in a camp and whatnot. So we lost leaders, we lost productive guys. We have a good core group of leaders coming back, but we got a lot of new people. So every year's a new team. This is a brand new team. Last year's team was last year. What they did was great. It has nothing to do with this year's team. And so what's been fun is watching this team create kind of their personality, their identity through this fall camp come together. And, we're about to play somebody real quick and kind of see where we stand and how much we have to grow. But it's a brand new team, but it's a team that's very accountable to each other and I think very motivated to try to get back to the playoffs.
I'm glad you brought up the playoffs. What is your biggest fear in life?
Oh, my biggest fear? I don't have many fears.
I thought you were going to say the playoff selection committee.
No. Probably other than something happening to my kids, I don't think that way.
We won't go there, yeah. But fill in the blank for me. SMU makes it back to the college football playoff if what?
SMU will make it back to the college football playoff if we can stay healthy and if we can handle adversity well as a team. It's hard to win in college football. We have a hard schedule this year. I mean, you look, we're playing 2 teams out of the Big 12 who could win that league. Of the top 5 teams in the ACC last year, we're playing the other 4 besides ourselves. So, we're going to have to win in some tough moments, and we're going to have to come from behind in some games and overcome probably injuries and other things. And so I think we have the talent. I think we have what it takes. We're going to have to get a little luck with the health of our team, but we're going to have to handle handle adversity well. If we can do that, then I think we can get back.
Critics say last year was a fluke. You say what?
I don't worry about critics, but we know that's what they say. I think, we caught a lot of people by surprise last year, and that's great. We're not picked to get back to Charlotte. We were picked 3rd in the league, but we weren't picked to get back. Nobody's picking us to make the playoffs. I'm sure half the people are predicting us to have a good team, and half are predicting us to flop and say, oh, it was a fluke. And I think what that helps us is just have this mindset that we're constantly having to prove ourselves. As a program, we're still having to prove ourselves. It doesn't matter that we won back-to-back 11-win seasons. We have to prove it again. But this team is a brand new team, so they have to prove it. And, man, that's life. You're always having to prove yourself over and over again, so we relish that opportunity.
I was going to say, do you relish that as a coach where it kind of adds a little bit of that chip on the shoulder where guys can stay motivated because they are having to prove themselves rather than maybe being on top of the mountain and constantly having to do it over and over again?
I do. It's different, right, because we're ranked preseason top 20. We're picked to finish high. We're picked to be a contender. So that tells you that there's a little bit of respect there for the program, and we've earned that. Success is really hard. Sustained success is harder. And so I don't say we've achieved anything yet, but we're starting to find our program in that scenario where people are starting to expect us to be a contender every year, maybe expect us to compete. Well, we expect that of ourselves. So we have to prove that we can sustain success week in, week out with that consistency of performance that is so hard to find. That's why every year you don't see the same teams over and over again except for a small few. We're trying to get our program into that small few that we're contending every year.
Does it just take time? I mean, I wonder from your perspective, is there a thought of why aren't we ranked higher? I mean, coming out at 16, Did you think did that surprise you? Was that higher than you thought that
No,
maybe the voters would go?
I thought somewhere between 10 and 20. I thought we'd be a top 20 team, and some may say 12, some may say 20. And, preseason polls just are what they are, but it is good as our program to have that respect. We've earned that. But I'm not shocked, and I'm not insulted. I mean, look, we lost a lot of good players. People still think we have enough coming back, believe in the success of our program. Hey, 16th contender in the ACC. And so I think that's where we're continuing to have to earn the respect and the reputation that you can't just do it 2 years. Now, if we do it next year and the next, then I think you'll start to see us get some of that bias other programs get. But with bias, I sometimes say, well, those programs have earned it. If you're Clemson and you've won 8 out of the last 10 ACC championships and made it to the playoffs I like 7 of the last 10 years or something like that, you've earned the benefit of the doubt, right? You've earned to be a top 10 team most years. That's where we want to get our program. We got to have a few more recruiting classes cycle through, keep being successful, and we can do that here.
So you feel like this program is still in the prove it stage on the national scene?
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, I think there's still people looking at us wondering, okay, was that a one-hit wonder? Are these guys going to regress to the mean, or can they continue this kind of climb? And I don't think success is linear. I mean, we want to go out and win 10, 11, 12 games again, make the playoff, but let's say we go win 7 or 8 games. Does that mean we're going backwards? Not necessarily. We can still be on an upward trajectory, and it takes time to build a sustainable program, and that's the process we're in. But I have no doubt we'll win a national championship here again. We have everything. We have the support of our administration. We have the support of our city here in Dallas. We're continuing to become more and more Dallas's team and embrace the city, and that's what we want to be. Dallas wants the winner. We got to continue to be a winner. It's a process, and I think every year we just kind of maybe do a little bit more of that process to where we're going to get our program to where the expectation is, hey, that's a top 10 program. That's a national title contending program. We're not there yet, but we're still climbing.
What has been sort of the buzz on campus around this program compared to when you started? I mean, it wasn't in a sorry state by any means, but compared to what it is now, where you have the run you have last year, top 20, certainly, students are feeling good, and the fan base as well.
Yeah, I mean, momentum is at an all-time high right now, and it should be. There's a lot of excitement of what we've done, but what we can continue to do. And then you just look at, like, when we're playing Miami for homecoming, we're going to Clemson. Like, the schedule has changed in a way that any fan base or city can get behind it, and we've been winning. So we've got to continue to put ourselves in those situations on that stage and come through. But the last 2 years, having our students break the attendance record back-to-back years, expect them to do it again. Season tickets are already at an all-time high, well past last year, and last year we filled Ford Stadium. Look no further than that to see the change, because until last year, it was half full, maybe, if it was a big game, and now it's packed, it's loud, it's a home field advantage. It's what college football is supposed to be, that atmosphere, that environment. And so it's what the vision was. We got to keep winning to keep growing that vision.
How do you manage the expectations of all the people that are a part of this, whether it's the students and the fans or the alumni or athletic department, your bosses, whomever, but not only them, but your players, your staff, and yourself? How do you kind of manage all of it? Because to some degree it falls largely on your shoulders.
Yeah, I think 2 things to just kind of manage expectations. Look, it's the business we're in. People call it high pressure, high expectations. Yeah, you got to produce. I think, one, you have to have high expectations of yourself. Like, no one has higher expectations of myself than I do, or of this team than this team does, or this staff than this staff does. So when our expectations are already high, then outward expectations being high don't bother us as much. Doesn't mean we're not aware, but you also want to be at a place where the expectations are high. Right. If people were just hoping we'd win 6 and go to a bowl game, that's not the place you want to be, right? We want to be at a place where if we aren't playing in Charlotte, some people are disappointed. Doesn't mean our season was a failure, perhaps, but that's where we want to get to. So I think you start by having high expectations. I think the second thing is just don't take yourself too seriously. I mean, I'm just a football coach. I'm a dad first, a husband first. We have a great staff. Enjoy what we're doing and where we're doing it. But understand it's hard to win. Be grateful for what we have. Stay humble and understand that it could be gone in an instant. And I think when you can just stay present and humble and not take yourself too seriously, then that helps as well.
I don't know if it was Nick Saban or some former legendary football coach said that it's harder to coach after a win than it is after a loss. Do you vibe with that? Is that true?
No, it is. That goes back to the sustained success part. Now, what like Nick did at Alabama was incredible for all those years, right? To sustain it week in, week out in a season, or year in, year out in a program, it takes incredible commitment to that process, because when you win a game, you come in and you're human, you relax, we won. So you watch the film differently. You're not quite as critical of where we got to get better. A player's a little more relaxed. And it's so easy that people always talk about, hey, how are you going to handle failure? I even did a minute ago, how are we going to handle adversity? And that's important. Yeah. But people, especially in a competitive environment, have a natural tendency to respond to adversity, right? Because now there's urgency. Can you be urgent when things are going well and still keep getting better? And that's the teams that find themselves playing for things.
How do you instill that, though?
Well, I think you have to be consistent.
Over time?
It is over time. I think your players, one, you have to have relationships where they trust you and your staff. And I think you have to be transparent and honest with them, And I think you have to be consistent. There's not a right or wrong way to coach. There's always, is he a player's coach? Is he this? As long as you're yourself and you're consistent, players can respect that and get used to that. So I think you have to keep consistency with them and how you coach them, how you lead through adversity, how you lead through winning. But yeah, there's sometimes as a coach, when you win and everybody feels good, you need to celebrate the win. About 24 hours later, we need to be real honest with ourselves. Okay, we won, but if we want to keep winning, we got to fix these things, or maybe we won't be winning in the future. Football has a way of holding you accountable if you don't take care of it yourself.
You said you're a father first, husband and father. Remind me, how many children?
I got 2 sets of twins. So I got boys that'll be 15 here in a few weeks, going in 9th grade, and girls that are 9.
Okay, so how has sort of coaching, fatherhood, the duality of that, has fatherhood helped you as a coach? Has coaching helped you as a father? Do any of those roles mesh?
They do. They mesh a lot, right? Different forms of leading.
Regulating emotions.
It's a lot easier to coach a football team and a staff sometime than the household, right? And I learned, especially with my wife, I'm not supposed to coach there. You know what I mean? So you got. She's definitely the head coach, and you got to have a different mindset. But no, I love it because, as a football coach, you solve problems, you lead, you go through good times and bad times with other people in the hope of helping them be better. Being a father's different to some degree, obviously, but it's not as much. Like, you're trying to help raise your children through good times and bad, through highs and lows, and love them through it to where they can be the best version of themselves, just like you want for your players. And I think if you do what we do in coaching for the right reasons, which I think a lot of our staff does, they view our players as like an extension of our family. And, and it goes back to the same thing. I want our players one day when they leave, no matter if their experience was exactly what they always wanted or not, or somewhere in between, to always go, I know Coach cared about me and I know he loved me. I want the same for my kids, right? Someday when they grow up and leave my house, I'm going to have made a lot of mistakes. But I want them to know I did my best, and they have no doubts that I loved them and I was proud of them. And, if that happens, then I think that's where there's a correlation. But it is a lot to do both at the same time.
No doubt. Just to pull on that thread a little bit in terms of coaching and mentorship, we spoke with Kevin Jennings last week and kind of told us, he was hard on himself after the way last season ended, the losses to Clemson and Penn State, but that you guys spoke and had a lot of conversations. What was kind of your mindset and that approach after the way last season ended to kind of get your QB1 centered and focused and be able to turn the page to a new year?
Yeah, I think anybody who was honest about Kevin's body of work last year goes, wow, he had a great year, right? It didn't end the way he wanted it to, or any of us did, and that's not all on him. But back to what we were talking about, the reason Kevin is successful as a competitor is he holds himself to a high standard. So I already knew Kevin was being hard on himself because we lost that last game, just like I was and others. What I wanted to make sure he knows is, like, not only myself, we all still fully believe in him, 100%. We're behind him. What he did was incredible, and he's going to learn from it. He's going to get better, and he's going to get in those situations again, and I think he'll like the outcome as long as he doesn't lose belief in himself. So that was my whole deal. I want him to know, man, not only do we believe in you, but you need to continue to believe in you and just be you. Like, You don't have to go out and do anything different. You know, yeah, we want to improve maybe our understanding of the game and gain 10 or 12 pounds and learn from this mistake or this mistake in a game situation. But in terms of who he is, he's always been a winner for a reason. Won at South Oak Cliff. He's won here ever since he got here because he's Kevin. And that sounds weird. You guys know what that means. Just go be yourself and don't lose that confidence and that edge you have just because you had one game that you didn't feel like you played your best. And I think the way he's acted, he's responded really well.
Do you think your experience as a quarterback and understanding, you know, how confidence plays a role into spinning it, like, does that help you kind of, get through to
It
some of these
does.
guys?
I mean, your past experiences help you help others, right? No different than being a parent. You help your kids because you've been where they are before. And so it definitely helps me. I think it helps Kevin. I think De'Aaron King helps Kevin because he's played recently and had a lot of ups and downs himself. So yeah, I mean, you try to impart any experience or wisdoms you have, but most importantly, it lets me know that he's going to be just fine. And you just try to reiterate that to him and get back to work, get back to the process. And he's handled it really, really well.
We'll wrap it up with this. Entering year 4 here on the Hilltop, what are you most proud of, in terms of accomplishment or program, something you've built here? Looking back on your first 3 years, what stands out the most?
I think the first 3 years, I'm just most proud that we've established a foundation of a winning culture. Now we got to fight to keep that every year.
Right.
You can lose it, especially if you get relaxed or take it for granted. But like we've established a culture where our guys enjoy being here. Guys enjoy being a part of this team, this culture. Each year it's a new team, but the cultures stay similar, and we've been winning. So now they expect to win. You have to expect to win. So I think we've established that, and we have high goals. And I think just the excitement behind the program. I mean, being able to be a part of, winning the conference championship and moving to the ACC. And last year, that's been fun to see our fan base, our administration, our donors, and everybody kind of rally together. And there's so much power and alignment, everybody pulling in the same direction. And right now at SMU, we have everybody pulling in the same direction. We're on the national stage again. We're in the city of Dallas, which is phenomenal. And I think each year we're continuing to just kind of connect more and more. I talk to people who come to our games, and our games are sold out. And yeah, there's a lot of SMU alumni there. There's a lot of just Dallas people there that go, I went to school such and such, but you guys are the home team and I'm here. And I'm loving what you guys are doing. Like, that's what we want. Dallas is a great city, deserves a big-time college football team, and we want to continue to give them that.
SMU head coach Rhett Lashlee, thanks for the time.
Appreciate it.